BuzzCity's here today with Common Weal Community Arts Center Gerry Ruecker and Birdsong Communications Don List. We're here to talk about the Northside story or two, revisited 15 years later. Gerry, could you give us some background about this video?
Okay, in 1995, in the community of North Central, Artistic Director Rachel Fawson, with the help of a lot of residents from North Central community, put together a play about the community of North Central. The community had been settled in the 1800s by European settlers, had gone through a fair number of transmutations over time, but in 95 it was riddled with, some serious problems. So this was an attempt to address those problems for people to tell their stories. And just about a year ago, we were talking with someone, a young person who was a participant of that play. And she was talking about just how pivotal being in that performance was in her life. So we started doing a little bit of investigation, and it was for quite a number of young people. So we decided, well, you know what, this play has been filmed by Birdsong Productions, but nothing more had been done of it. So we decided to celebrate the success of that community engaged, art production, and make a video production about the community play and its legacy. So that's where it came from.
It's great that you recognized it, because it would have been sort of a waste to not have done something with all that work, and what such a powerful event for the community.
Yeah, well, we, our mandate is to link professional artists with marginalized communities with the hope of some sort of positive social change. You never know exactly how much influence you have, but in a case like this where it really did seem to have a fair impact, it's really good to celebrate those things.
It is. And how did you get involved, Don?
Well, yeah, I had actually the pleasure, and you can almost say the honor of being involved with Common Weal since just about day one. And in 1995, I just, we thought, well, let's just document it. That's for archive. And so we went out and filmed the process, and sort of the rest is history. We tried to, make a show of it, but it was never found a place. So it was on our shelves in an archival form, and it was a, a broadcast format. And so basically, when Joanne and Gerry, we talked about it, and I said, wow, this is great, and to have that opportunity to revisit, and I like Gerry, they added the term the legacy, and just to be able to look back, to reflect, which is exactly like the mandate of Common Weal, and basically the stories. I mean, a North Side story or two, and a lot more stories have emerged since then. And coming back, it was a no-brainer to find some of the people that were participants 15 years before, and as you'll see in the film, I mean, they were like from the ages probably 12 to 20 in that age, and now they're young adults, and they're, thankfully, a lot of them are still around. We had a few, people that couldn't get a hold of, but yeah, it was just great, and then to discover the impact that play, that community event had on not just North Central community, but on these people, their individual lives. So yeah, it was just great, and putting it together, and of course the launch coming up, I'm sure you'll be talking about
that.
Yes,
I was going to ask that next, about the debut screening of it. When is that happening?
In Hollywood, I believe. Oh, Hollywood.
That'll be next.
Isn't it Cannes?
The Cannes Film Festival. No,
actually, was there for the opening.
Oh, Jesus.
Sundance, maybe?
Sundance. Well, that's all the opportunity. I mean, it's a 20-minute program. Of course, the DVD underneath is the whole package. So there's the play, which is about 2 hours, and then the documentary, which is about 23 minutes. So we'll be launching the 23-minute version May 31st, Tuesday, at the Albert Scott Community Center.
At 7:30.
At 7:30. And we'll tell you other goodies there too.
Yeah, well, free food, of course. Free
and
admission.
Free admission.
And there will be some live music involved as well. And copies will be available for purchase at that time too.
And for people who cannot make it to that event, they can get copies through either Common Weal or Birdsong?
Yeah, probably.
Sure.
Yeah, just contact us, and I'm sure they'll be around. We're going to try to, something like this. We are looking for a broadcast because I do believe it's of that caliber.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be able to. Hopefully, more people will see it. There's talk that it's going to circulate around the community, which is what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for us, and I think speaking for Common Weal, the excitement is what happens after the event. Mm-hmm. So when the projector turns off or the play's finished, what's next is kind of what it's all about for us, and it'll have a life of its own, I'm sure. Rachel Van Fossen, who is the artistic director and the former, basically the founder
really
of Common Weal, was actively involved in this project, and she right away said, yeah, as she's an academic, a theater professional. And she said, yeah, it would be just ideal for teaching tool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, something like this you'll probably see in libraries and institutions, educational institutions, hopefully for the next decade.
Well, and there's a whole new generation of kids out there that this will be the first time they've seen or heard these stories.
Well, it's also, back in '95 when it was done, community engaged arts was in its infancy. Mm-hmm. Not a lot had been really done. Theater was primarily the medium. Now it's gotten, it's just kind of exploded, and people are, they're offering community arts courses in universities, right? So I think that having a document such as this for those purposes is also going to be really helpful.
Yeah, one of the things that comes out pretty clear is that people think, oh, it's a play. Well, it's a community play. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that it's a combination of community non-professionals, aspiring amateurs, and just neighborhood people who said, yeah, let's come out. So, and the magic of the community coming together. And you'll see, the play itself is a good mixture of first-time people and the seasoned professionals like Bill Higley and Mark Dieter, for example, working with community people. Val Canistanoa. The list goes on. And when you see it, you might be surprised and say, "Oh, I saw that person in Moccasin Flats," or "Geez, that person has gone on to do some television stuff." And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. This play, the community process that Common Weal started, enabled and was the start for a lot of aspiring, young professionals.
As well as the TV show Moccasin Flats.
That's where it got its inspiration, right here.
One of the things that I heard from a number of people while we were talking to them that the play did was it broke down barriers within the community. People were there were comments made that someone said, I used to see them around hanging out, and I was always afraid of them, but now I'm not anymore. I know them. I know what they're all about, right? I know what they're doing. I understand them, right? So that's the power of a project like this.
Well, thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you at the opening.
Absolutely.
For sure. Is that your knee touching mine?